Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is the progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. Remember, you can also send me a tweet to EGBERTOWILLIES. That is, at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is politics done right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Willies, your host. Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show. We are going to have a great show today. I changed the show because, you know what? After seeing the reaction to Michelle Wolf, you know what we have to do? We have to get in there and prove that the young woman was absolutely right and that all those that are critiquing this young woman, there is a problem. Look, folks, it is gonna be a great show. If you're just starting, remember how we always start this show. What we always ask you is to please go ahead and share this on your page, share this on your wall right now. So if you're watching us, go ahead and share it. But we are going to have a good show. Michelle Wolf, I tell you what, Michelle Wolf for the week is my hero. For all those who don't think so, for all those who are said, oh, she was just so rough. Look, I'm a very civil guy. Would I go up on stage and do what she did? No, but I'm not a comedian. And not only that, we have two different purposes in our politics. My politics is to bring folks together, but we need her. We need those people like that who are going to go out and call out the system. So we're going to discuss that today. I'm going to play you some specific clips of what she said and then reinterpret those clips. Let me tell you something. What they won't tell you on network TV, what they won't tell you on cable TV is that Michelle Wolf's skit, her piece was so well orchestrated. Her piece was so well designed. It went over the head. It didn't go over their heads, actually. It's because it was so well designed and she was able to codify within her jokes such seriousness, such reality that folks sat down there and said, oh my God, are we that bad? That is the case, folks. Don't be fooled. Those that are just joining us right now, please remember, go ahead and share us on your page. Share us on your wall. Share us via Twitter. Share us via Tumblr, Instagram, all the social media networks. We need to get the job done. So please go ahead and do that, folks. So our show today, again, it's a change from what we're going to do. We had two politicians that we were going to interview. One of them canceled out. The other one, we said, you know what, we're going to move that to the next time. But anyhow, folks, here's what we have titled. This is why the left, the right, and the media are all pissed at Michelle Wolf's White House Correspondents Dinner roast. This is why they're mad. And we're going to explain to you why they're mad in a few minutes. But again, for those of you, have just come back in. For those of you that are just coming on in, go ahead and please share us on your page. Please share us on your wall. Please share us over Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram. I forgot the others, but you know what I'm talking about. Folks, this isn't specifically, I don't want to make this show today specifically about the simplicity of, oh, comedian goes raise hell at the White House, Correspondents Congress, and like everybody else picking up this story, oh well, you know. No, that's not what I want to do. I want to go into detail on what she said and express it in a manner that we can tell our folks she is right. And because she's right, this is why we have to do X, Y, and Z at the upcoming election. So please, folks, if you're just joining us, share us on your page. If you're just joining us, share us on Twitter. Anyhow, Michelle Wolf, subtitle of the show today, why is the media, why is the right and the left slamming Michelle Wolf? Why would you slam this woman? I mean, that was a well-constructed act. That was a well-constructed act. It was so well-constructed that you don't see that it was actually well-constructed. You know, that's how you know something is really good. That you're getting, it's like getting medicine that tastes good, right? You get the medicine, you're laughing, and by the time you're done, you realize, wait a minute, that was medicine that I took there. Oh my God, it wasn't all that bad. In this case, this is what she did. Anyhow, Michelle Wolf gave a hell of a performance at the White House Correspondents Dinner. She made a lot of people uncomfortable. The question is why? Wasn't Seth Meyers just as blunt? Of course Seth Meyers was blunt. But Seth Meyers toed a particular line. So he had two things ahead of him. He toed a particular line, and there are certain attributes that he has that made him not necessarily going to be attacked by his own. Continuing, his own meaning the media, the entertainment industry. Wanted to qualify that before people started to infer. Well, we know that women who execute outside of the rails tend to get criticized from both men and women. But Michelle Wolf did more than that. She went after the entire political media cabal with a touch of how it operates within this form of capitalism. For that, she must be delegitimized. That's what they want to do. They want to delegitimize her because, you know what? She came this close to telling even a bigger truth. She came this close to take, and you know what? You know what is so funny? She looks, when she's talking and she's saying things like, oh, you know, ha, 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 ha. It sounds like, oh, this is just some get-ahead woman speaking or something like that. That's not the case. Again, when you see how she touched on the topics that she touched, that woman did it. That woman killed it. Let me tell you again, that woman killed it. For those people who want to understand what she did, she killed it, folks. And we ought to be proud that we had somebody with guts to go out and do that. But before we get to her, and before I go ahead and deconstruct her different jokes, what I want to do is give you a little bit of news. So folks that are just coming on, please go ahead and share this on your wall. Very important, very important, very important. Please share this on your wall because that is the way we're going to get the throughput. That is the way we're going to get this message out there. That is the way we're going to make sure that people hear the undertone message because, you know, she started her skit saying something that is so true. She said, oh, we are here at the Hilton and, you know, we're on C-SPAN and nobody's going to watch it. And she's right. Nobody watches C-SPAN other than the crazies like those of us who are politically active. Most Americans aren't. And most people are just going to hear the bits and pieces that the media is going to put out there. But you notice of all the stuff the media puts out there, they didn't really put out a whole lot about where she hits them. And to tell you the truth, the biggest issue was where she hits them. But before we go with a little bit of news, I want to remind you guys, this is a call-in show. I'd love to hear from you guys. 646-716-5812. That's the number right there on your screen. 646-716-5812. Remember that number for those who are listening on the Blog Talk Radio Network as well. 646-716-5812. Today in the news, from the newsfeed, Slate says the following because, hey, remember I told you, what's one of the most important professions on the planet? What is one of the most important professions on the planet? We know what it is. Teachers, professors, teachers, those who teach our kids, those who spend a lot of times more time with our kids than we do. Teachers, professors, those are the folks who move knowledge forward. And guess what? They're starting to rebel, specifically in red states, but they're starting to rebel. They're starting to assert their worth. They're starting to say, this belongs to us and you better pay us. Arizona educators and from Slate, Arizona educators and their supporters gathered in the hundreds at the state's capital and in other cities around the state to demand teacher raises and more school funding in the third day of a statewide teacher walkout. Hundreds of schools have announced they will close according to the Arizona Republic, and the state legislature is expected to introduce a budget proposal soon to try to satisfy the teachers' demands. The walkout has carried the momentum of a national movement. Remember I said a few weeks ago, teachers are going to be the catalyst that gets our movement going. Teachers, there are so many of you, several millions of you, who have been underpaid, underserved, and who are knowledgeable, educated, and can help move this stuff along. You guys are the ones that we're dependent on rekindle the labor movement, not only the labor movement, but the union labor movement. And for those who are saying, "No, unions are bad," look, the corporations have their unions. They have the Chamber of Commerce and all these other unions that is making sure to look out for them. You guys better get together and look out for yourself. And for all of you teachers who continue to vote conservatives, who continue to vote for people who materially affect your worth, who materially affect your personal economy, folks, listen, it is time for us to get busy. For the teachers who have seen the light, for the teachers who are out there doing what needs to be done, thank you. You guys are our heroes. You guys are the 21st century, the beginning of the 21st century's heroes. The walkout has carried the momentum of a national movement of teachers demonstrators, which started with a successful West Virginia teacher strike that began in February and spread to Oklahoma, Kentucky, Arizona, and Colorado. On Thursday and Friday, the teachers and their supporters rallied in the thousands in temperatures over 90 degrees. They must not be in Texas yet. 90 degrees, that's a cool spring day. 90 degrees at the Capitol to demand increased funding. More than 1,000 schools in the state closed for the walkout, according to the Republic. On Thursday, more than 50,000 people marched through downtown Phoenix. Hey guys, it's on. Hey guys, it's on. And you can help the teachers. Share this program. Share Politics Done Right. Share this information, because it is together that we are going to take over and make sure that what's due us is given. Or should I say, is taken. Second story, Salon. You know, the NRA always talking about, if you want to solve the problem with a bad guy with a gun, make sure you have a good guy with a gun. Well, at an NRA convention, you would expect all those NRA folks to be there, loaded, cocked, and ready to go. Nobody should be scared of accidents or anything occurring, and they should be able to get a Secret Service waiver, because, you know, there are a lot of good people in the NRA who are ready to protect. There are a lot of good people in the NRA with a gun, so nobody ought to fear in a gun conference by the NRA for them to allow guns in that conference. After all, they want guns everywhere, church, restaurants. They want guns in schools. They want teachers armed. But anyhow, the NRA, according to Salon, the NRA is banning firearms from a speech to be delivered by Vice President Mike Pence as their annual meeting sparked outcries of hypocrisy by the Parkland High School students who survived a mass shooting in February. Folks, we're heading to talk about that thing and playing some clips for you in a minute, but I want to get through this little bit of news of the day. At the source of the outrage is the fact that the Secret Service does not allow firearms to be present for events in which the protectees are going to be present and the center of attention, according to the Washington Post. As a result, and in order to comply with the federal laws regarding Secret Service authority on these issues, the NRA is going to ban firearms. The NRA is going to ban firearms. The NRA is going to ban firearms. Ban firearms from the arena where Pence is speaking while he is present. As the NRA explained, firearms and firearm accessories, knives and weapons of any kind will be prohibited in the forum prior to and during his attendance. Agency spokesman Sean L. Hotchclaw also told the Post that individuals determined to be carrying firearms will not be allowed past a predetermined outer perimeter checkpoint, regardless of whether they possess a ticket to the event or not. Okay, that's interesting. That is so interesting. NRA administration, NRA-loving administration, but they won't allow those guns around them. But they want to allow those guns around you. The hypocrisy, folks. And all of you, those that are supported, that don't, you know, you don't they're not, most Americans don't run around with guns in their pockets and all that kind of stuff, or run around saying that they want to have guns at all costs everywhere. They don't do that. They are pragmatic. You know, I don't believe in guns, but for those who, I realize that we're in a country of laws and we're in a country where people have different opinions. And for those who like guns, more power to you, and whatever the case may be. But anyhow, let's get started. I want to play you the first clip that we want to deconstruct on with this young lady right here with Michelle Wolf. Here we go.
I'm here to make jokes. I have no agenda. I'm not trying to get anything accomplished. So everyone that's here from Congress, you should feel right at home. I'm 32.
I love that start. I love that start. I love the way she started that. And why do I love the way she started that? That was another well-constructed beginning. And what did she say there in the beginning? Hey, I don't have an agenda. Of course she has an agenda. And everybody knows she has an agenda there, right? She's a very liberal woman, and she wants to go out there and she wants to stick it to them. But she's behaving like Congress. Congress have a tendency to say, oh, we don't have an agenda, but, what we want to do. And then they come with their agenda. But then she cloaks it with a great phrase. And that phrase is, oh, but you know what? Yes, I have an agenda. Or rather, I don't have anything. I don't do anything. But guess what? You guys should feel at home. Because you know what, Congress? How is that any different from you are? How is that any different? Right? How is that any different? And she continues.
Years old, which is an odd age. 10 years too young to host this event and 20 years too old for Roy Moore. He almost got elected.
Yes. And then she stick it to them, right? In other words, all these self-righteous Republicans that are out there now, she wanted to point out, and she did this, by the way, all these little clips in this program here, I did it out of, I did it sequentially as she did it at the event. But she wants to show the hypocrisy within, not the hypocrisy within the ideology that a Roy Moore, who is a pedophile or who presumably is a pedophile, could come that close to winning, to own a Republican seat in the Senate. She pointed that out quite there. And what kind of laughter did they give her? I mean, you would think that the room would explode like, oh, yeah, no, but, everybody was on their toes because, Trump had a whole lot of his spies in the room. But don't worry too badly. The spies got their due.
I know there's a lot of people that want me to talk about Russia and Putin and collusion, but I'm not going to do that because there's also a lot of liberal media here, and I've never really wanted to know what any of you look like when you orgasm.
Now, that was a classic. That was a classic. A lot of people look at that when she made that statement, oh, she's being pornographic or graphic or whatever. That wasn't the issue behind it. What she wanted to say out there is that you guys, first of all, I don't know when the liberal media was simply a tinge, because we all know that there's nothing liberal about the media. The media is is a corporatocracy, right? So there's nothing liberal about it. It's if she had said neoliberal, that is what we would have stood for. The media is a neoliberal institution. Yeah, okay, it's a neoliberal institution. But when she says they are orgasmic, they get, it is like all these things that give them pleasure, all these issues that are there to give them pleasure, are things that are completely anathema or mostly anathema to most American citizens. But these elites out there that run the media, and that is what she's saying, they run over. You listen to there's a clip that I left out that she did about Rachel Maddow not getting to the point. And I didn't want to do that because, that left the concept of what I wanted the show to be about. But what she wanted to say about the orgasm on the liberal orgasm on everything Trump made a hell of a lot of sense. What she's trying to say is, look, you guys seem to have this great satisfaction that you get just from talking about this issue. But the next question is, why? Why are you just talking about that? And she's going to expand a little bit more on that a little bit further down.
It is kind of crazy that the Trump campaign was in contact with Russia when the Hillary campaign wasn't even in contact with Michigan. I know.
Okay, now, that's a classic. And why is that the case? In effect, she's saying several things. She's saying that Donald Trump was working his butt off. He was doing whatever it took to win, while Hillary Clinton was pretty much coasting, hoping that coasting will bring her home. Not, and that she didn't go to the one place, Michigan. Why didn't you go to Michigan? How could you not have gone to Michigan when Michael Moore was out there telling you the state that Michigan was in, what he saw on the ground? He was begging. Michael Moore was begging Brooklyn. And she knows that. You know, a lot of us that are in this thing, we knew that. We knew that Michigan was in trouble. We knew that Ohio was in trouble. We knew that Minnesota was in trouble, even though she brought that over. We knew that Iowa was in trouble. But did she go? No, she coasted. And there's a whole lot inside of that, packed in that one statement, and that is, the other side is always hungry. And you don't even have the gall to go and talk to your own people. You don't even have the gall to prep your own people. That is what she's talking about there. That is what she means, and it infers all of that. Anyway, let's continue with this other little piece.
I would drag him here myself, but it turns out the President of the United States is the one pussy you're not allowed to grab. He said it first. Yeah.
Okay, now I kind of joined two clips there, and that was important. You know what? You notice what she said? He said she talked about he's the only guy you can't grab and bring in, and then she equated it with his pussy remarks of the past. But here's the kicker. If you notice what she said at the end, she said he did it first. What she was saying is that Donald Trump has opened himself up for the kind of critiques that I'm going to give you tonight. Remember, he, as in the Stallone movies, he drew first blood. He drew first blood. And given that the first blood that he drew was evidently successful, she was going to pull no qualms with that. She was going to let it bleed. And for those of the press that continue to say, why did she do it? Or it was the wrong place, or it wasn't civil. My God, have we heard the things that Donald Trump have said on the stage with foreign leaders next to him? Are you really going to say that she didn't have the right to say or do what she said? Come on, folks. No. So that piece that she put near the beginning, I loved it, because what it did is it said, don't sit down here and judge me as being crude. Don't sit down here and judge me as being somehow sexist, which I couldn't be even if I wanted to. You know why? Because look at who you elected president. Look at who you uplifted as president. Don't judge me, you not having judged him appropriately. Okay, continuing with the little piece here.
People call Trump names all the time. And look, I could call Trump a racist or a misogynist or xenophobic or unstable or incompetent or impotent. But he's heard all of those and he doesn't care. So tonight, I'm going to try to make fun of the president in a new way, in a way that I think will really get him. Mr. President, I don't think you're very rich. Trump is...
Okay, now that's the low blow, because we all know the one thing Trump wants everybody to believe is that, my God, I'm one of the richest people in the world, and I think calling Trump not rich, as she implies, is likely worse than calling him not macho or not manly enough, or whatever, however you want to put it. Because the one thing he wants everybody to believe is that he's rich, that he's wealthy, and she is right. Nothing sticks to him. It is as if you can call him anything, and a thief or whatever, and it doesn't matter to him. We knew that he ripped people off at the university. He ripped people off with the water that he sold. He did all kinds of things. But somehow it never, ever, ever stuck or got him riled up enough. But this one did. So she continues, and I love the way she continues.
So broke, he has to fly failed business class. Trump is so broke, he had to borrow money from the Russians, and now he's compromised and not susceptible to blackmail and possibly responsible for the collapse of the Republic. Trump's also...
All right. Now, why you sort of wonder why that the media doesn't hang on to that, right? In other words, it isn't hard to figure out that if a man went bankrupt so many times, and this is all packed up in there, if a man who's been bankrupt that many times, if a man who can't get a loan for a bank can somehow amass loans elsewhere to build this false empire, the only thing that makes sense is that the guy is one of the better launderers well, not better launderers, because I think it's going to be found out now. I think all the paperwork that's going to prove that Donald Trump laundered a whole lot of money, I think all that paperwork is already in the hands of Mueller. So I think the demise of Donald Trump is there, assuming there isn't a national cover-up by both Republicans and Democrats. And hear me well when I say that. It is you cannot build something out of nothing. And not only that, in America, in our capitalist society, you cannot build the type of business that Trump built without capital, right? And the reality is that capital had to come somewhere, and we kind of know where it came from. We kind of know where the bank that it comes from, and we kind of know who funds the bank where it came from, and we kind of know that all when Trump was running, there were airplanes with oligarchs kind of following him around in several places. I've written about blogs about that several times. So I think what she's trying to say right there is very important. We likely have a traitor in our midst. And, you know, when President Obama became the president of the United States, it was amazing because what everybody talked about, or not everybody, those folks on the right used to like to talk about, is whether we had a Manchurian candidate, a candidate that was placed there by some other entity that didn't have the American interests at hand, but the interests of somebody else at hand. It turns out their savior, the savior of the right, just may be the real deal, the real Manchurian candidate. The real Manchurian candidate just may be El Señor Trump, and there's probably all that evidence that Mueller has already, just waiting to be dropped. All right, folks, we're sort of at the middle of the show right now, so you know what time it is for me to just give a little middle notice as far as who we are. Folks, this is Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Willis. Please note that we ask those that are listening to us who have the wherewithal to support progressive media, to support media that's going to be out there doing what we know we have to do, and that is get our message across. Today, I'm kind of deviating from some of the stuff that I talked about, the economy and all these sort of things, to really deconstruct some of what Michelle Wolf did at the dinner yesterday, because I think she's getting a raw deal. She's getting a raw deal from the right. She's getting a raw deal from the left. She's getting a raw deal from just about everywhere. I'm going to read another blog that I did with Mika Brzezinski versus Ana Navarro. Ana Navarro, the conservative Republican, is the one who got it right. And supposed liberal Mika Brzezinski got it all wrong. But anyhow, folks, what I'm saying, so today's a slight deviation from sort of the programs that we have, which is a bit more on the economy, a bit more on things like Medicare, Medicaid for all, Medicare for all, et cetera, et cetera. Anyhow, please go to Patreon, patreon.com/politics done right. Again, that is Patreon, patreon.com/politics done right. And give us a cup of coffee, give us a venti, give us a Verona, give us whatever you can to support and be a subscriber of Politics Done Right, to support this type of politics, to support that we are here to move the progressive message forward. Very, very, very important that we get your support. Likewise, I'd like to remind you that I don't ask anything that I don't do, and that is I am a supporter of Daily Kos, Op-Ed News, the Democratic Underground, Coffee Party USA, HCDP, and several other rags. And what I'm asking is that those of you who are following us, if you would do the same. But anyhow, we are going to get back to the program. And the program goes as follows. We're going to continue playing you some clips. Please remember, again, this is a call-in show. Give us a call at 646-716-5812. Again, that number is 646-716-5812 if you're interested to comment about what we're talking about today. Let's go to the other clip and get started with that. For those who are just joining us, please do remember, go ahead and share this program on your wall. Please share this program on your wall. Share this program on your page. Share this program everywhere. That's the way we ensure that progressives continue to get the messages that they ought to be getting. Hi, Ray, el primo mío de Panamá. ¿Cómo estás? How's everything going, my brother? Michael Rudnin, welcome aboard. And for all the others that have scrolled, forgive me, but I'll get to acknowledging you guys in a minute. Okay, let's continue deconstructing this great piece by Michelle Wolf. Michelle Wolf is getting the short end of the stick from both progressives, the right wing, and the media. Let's not let that stand. That was an excellently constructed piece that she did. And what I did, I have a thing called Michelle Wolf in less than 5 minutes. I cut up the video and made Michelle Wolf in less than 5 minutes. And that is what I'm playing right now. You can actually go to, well, I don't have it on my website yet. It's on the YouTube channel. On the YouTube channel, I'll make it available. This whole piece, which was a concentration of all her work in 5 minutes. So we are gonna go there. But anyhow, let me give you the other clip.
An idea guy. He's got loads of ideas. He wants to give teachers guns, and I support that because then they can sell them for things they need, like supplies.
Okay, there's so much encapsulated into that one joke, right? In other words, how silly is it to give teachers who should be in the classroom teaching and to have to now worry about when just maybe I have to have at the ready access to my gun because there may be somebody who's going to come in and shoot up the school, and I need to be there to protect my kids, and I need to also be ready that in case some kid naturally comes out aggressively against me, whereas if I didn't have a gun, I would somehow diffuse the situation. But now that I have a gun, everybody that looks threatening to me is a potential reason for using my gun. And given the state of the laws in a lot of these states where it is, if you feel threatened, you can kill and ask questions later. So that is one part, that is a gun control part that she was alluding to. But she also used that statement to show the state of decline that is our educational system. And that was so much more important, right? Why? What's she saying? Look, you can now that this incident has happened in the school, you can find the monies to start arming, and you know guns cost a lot of money, and who makes the money from these guns? The gun lobby and the gun manufacturers. Somehow you can add this expensive piece of equipment to every classroom that wants it, to every teacher that wants it. The money can be found immediately to fund the purchase of guns. But somehow, teachers don't have the money to buy their extra protractors. Teachers don't have the money to buy the supplies for their classrooms. Teachers are underpaid. We can never find the money for education. In fact, it's not only that we can't find the money for education, but we actually always use education as a portion of the budget to cut. We always cut the education budget whenever we can. But we need guns? Oh, don't worry. We'll have the money to buy the guns. Somehow we'll find it. We want to go to war? Not a problem. We can go to war. We always have the money to go to war. You know, I mean, it's amazing. We can be in the middle of a recession and somehow we can buy all the missiles we need to buy. But we have people in need, people that are dying. And these moral folk that claim to be our politicians, specifically on the right, some on the left, can never find that the hidden funds to support those in need in the country. But to buy arms, which supports the plutocracy, which supports the oligarchy, which supports the corporatocracy, to buy those guns, we can find the money. We can't find the money to help with social programs, but we can find the money to help in many other places. Folks, think about the stupidity. Well, I'm sorry, stupidity is so much the wrong word. Think about the lack of heart that entails. And that is what she alluded to. That one sentence, gun control and the lack of purpose, the lack of knowing where you should have your money. Folks, if you want to call in, of course, add to this discussion, remember the telephone number is 646-716-5812. Again, that number is 646-716-5812. Likewise, I ask those of you who are watching, who are listening right now, to go ahead, whether you're on Blog Talk Radio or Facebook Live, to go ahead and share this program on your wall, on your Twitter, on your Instagram, on your Facebook page, on your Facebook wall, on your Tumblr. Please go ahead and let's make sure that people hear the message. Now let's continue.
People want Trump to be impeached. I do not. Because just when you think Trump is awful, you remember Mike Pence. Mike Pence is also very...
Yes. You know, a lot of us have been discussing that. Well, I mean, if you impeach Trump, you get Pence. And the problem with Pence is that Pence is competent. He's competent. I've seen Pence on the floor of the House. And I tell you, Pence is a convincing guy. He's a likable guy. I mean, those of us that are real liberal like myself, real progressives, right? We look at Pence and it's like, yuck, look at how, but you know what? We have to stop looking through our eyes of activists and look through the eyes of the average American citizen who just turns on the TV, listens to who is talking, and see who is convincing. And the one thing about the message on the right is generally simple, simplistic, and very easy to understand. And if you recall from last week, I gave a democratic response that I thought we should be given. Every politician should remember the 5 points that I gave to be interpreted in a district-specific manner in their districts that can win elections with a progressive message that talks to everybody, including those who believe they're conservatives. You see, notice that I always say those who believe they're conservatives, because if you ask people what they want, absent social issues like abortion and church, they generally want the same thing, and those values are generally progressive. So therefore, if you are intent on selling your message in your district, every progressive has the ability to go into that district, likely except the very wealthy right-wing districts, to win. And with that, a pretty darn large majority. Let me continue with what she has to say. Let's see.
Very anti-choice. He thinks abortion is murder. And yeah, sure, you can groan all you want. I know a lot of you are very anti-abortion, you know, unless it's the one you got for your secret.
Unless it's the one you got for your secret mistress. I love that one. And why was that one so good? Because it shows that those politicians that are, and I'm speaking now to my religious friends, my religious conservative friends, who really, because of their true belief, they believe abortion is wrong. But then they have politicians out there who profess to believe the same thing, but when their mistresses get pregnant, the first thing they want their mistresses to do is to have an abortion. And yet, those same politicians are the ones that are knocking the progressives who are honest, who says, it's not that I'm pro-abortion or anti-abortion. I am just pro-woman. I am pro-people. And it is not my responsibility. It is not my right. It is not, I should not want to tell a woman what she can do with her body. And it's a simple, I mean, it is rather simple to me, right? I can't carry a kid. Who am I to be making laws about being able to carry a kid or not? Not only that, a kid affects the woman's personal economy, their personal well-being going forward. Who am I to determine what that woman's personal economy should look like going forward? It is not my right. It should not be the right of government. That should be one of the inalienable rights. And in my humble opinion, that is, in fact, one of our inalienable rights. So that's what I wanted to bring up on that particular issue. Continuing.
Mistress. I did have a lot of jokes. I had a lot of jokes about cabinet members, but I had to scrap all of those because everyone has been fired. Paul Ryan.
That is so true. The Trump administration is likely the administration that has gotten rid of the most top-notch, and I don't quote me on this because I don't know it in absolute numbers, but I know for the quickness and how quickly all these top staffers are going, I don't know if there is a second. Let me continue with what else she had to say.
Also couldn't make it. Of course, he's already been circumcised. Unfortunately, while they were down there, they also took his balls.
Okay, that was about Paul Ryan. She made a circumcision joke earlier on, and what she wanted to say is the Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, is very weak. They all know, and the implication there, and with some other things that she said, is many folks know that they don't agree with Donald Trump, but very few of them have the wherewithal, the stamina, the strength, the what's that word that you use? They're fearful to go up against the president. Many of them are fearful to go up against the president. So in effect, so far, she's really hit Republicans very hard, meaning trying to show them how dysfunctional they are, try to show them how hypocritical they are, and trying to show them that, they're not worth the effort that most give them at this time.
Democrats are harder to make fun of because you guys don't do anything.
Now, that is hitting the left side, right? Democrats pretty much do nothing. Isn't that some stuff we've been talking about for a long time? Right now, we continue to concentrate on, oh my God, Russia. Oh my God, collusion. Oh my God, all these things. What's going to happen in October? What's going to happen when Americans find out they've been screwed in October with health care and the message comes out from the Republicans, who are very good at messaging, at who's to be blamed? Why aren't Democrats laying the foundation right now of word blame for all the bad things that are subsequently going to be happening on where it belongs with the Republicans? Why aren't they doing that? As she says, it's hard to make fun of nothing. It's hard to make fun of when you're not doing anything. Now, I want to separate the Democratic Party from the progressive activists. The progressive activists are out there kicking butt, indivisible, swing left, our revolution. They are out there kicking it, folks. They are out there busting their butts without any organizational support from the party. We don't know. The one set of organizational support we have from the party right now is to be selecting which particular candidates in which particular district they deemed to be good enough. We had one here in the 7th district here in Texas where they tried to malign one of the candidates. Her name is Mosier. They tried to say that she wasn't, they really hit her as if they were Republicans hitting a progressive. But you know what? She made it to the runoff. We were supposed to have her on today, but they couldn't make it. So one of those things. But anyhow, and they did the same thing. I think it was in Colorado, Colorado 6, I believe, where The Intercept got a tape of Steny Hoyer almost attempting to force the progressive candidate out of the race in order to get a fat cat rich, I guess he was a lawyer or something like that, in the position. So we know what the Democratic Party is doing right now when it comes to a whole lot of those people that are running. They're trying to get them to hell out of the race to put the people they want. To which I asked the particular question: hey, folks, when was the last time you were successful again by using your methods? When? Let's use the progressive method for a change. And here's what she says.
People think you might flip the House and Senate this November, but you guys always find a way to mess it up. You're somehow going to lose by...
Oh, I cut that too quickly.
12 points to a guy named Jeff Pedophile Nazi Doctor. We should definitely talk...
Now, that was cold. She's telling Democrats right there. She's saying, we could give you the best opportunity to win, and you just know how to screw it up. There's absolutely no way Donald Trump should have been president. There's absolutely no way Donald Trump should have won Michigan, Iowa, Ohio, or any of those particular states, because there's nothing in Donald Trump's policies that protect those people yet. He won them, yes, by a little bit, but he won them enough to win the Electoral College. Pulling something Democrats are very good at, pulling defeat out of what should be a win. One of the things I've been doing over the last several months is telling progressives, disregard the party, use the party as a framework for the election. In other words, you need the party to put your progressive candidate in there and get on the ballot and all that sort of stuff, but disregard the commandments coming from the party and get out there and be with the people. And you know, in these different areas, you know how to reach your particular group of folk. Just reach them and do what has to be done to get those folks to the polls and voting for the right and appropriate progressives.
About the women in the Trump administration, there's Kellyanne Conway. Man, she has the perfect last name for what she does. You guys gotta stop putting Kellyanne on your shows. All she does is lie. If you don't give her a platform.
Oh, I cut that one too early. If you don't give her a platform.
She has nowhere to lie. And of course we have Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
All right. Now, that was a big call out, right? It is saying, you guys know this woman is a liar. You know she lies all the time. Why the hell do you have her on every single time? And later on, she went ahead and make a joke about a tree falling on her, really meaning, you know, do whatever it takes to make sure she doesn't make it onto TV. But a lot of folks took it another way, and purposefully so. You know, they wanted to attack. Michelle Wolf. Like I said, Michelle Wolf did a great job, and deconstructing her entire piece, I think, was some artwork in there.
We are graced with Sarah's presence tonight. I have to say, I'm a little starstruck. Every time Sarah steps up to the podium, I get excited because I'm not really sure what we're going to get. You know, a press briefing, a bunch of lies, or divided into softball team. It's shirts and skins, and this time don't be such a little bitch, Jim Acosta. I actually really...
Oh, I cut that one too quickly.
I think she's very resourceful. To create a perfect smoky eye. We've got our friend.
Yeah. So, I mean, think about that now. In effect, she goes right up now to the presidency and says the chief spokesperson to the presidency is a liar. She says it in her face. And what I love about her doing that is that, you know, you hear other journalists say, oh, she's not being truthful, or she's not being honest, or whatever. But this woman just comes out and say she's lying. She's a liar. You don't know what to expect out of her. That gets to the Americans much faster than the way a lot of these journalists are cloaking it because they're trying to query favor with her.
At CNN here. Welcome, guys. It's great to have you. You guys love breaking news, and you did it. You broke it. Fox News is here, so you know what that means, ladies. Cover your drinks. People want me to make fun of Sean Hannity tonight, but I cannot do that. This dinner's for journalists. We've got MSNBC here. MSNBC's new slogan is, "This is who we are." Guys, it's not a good slogan. I'm not going to go after.
Now, notice what, remember I said there's a reason why the media is against her. How many truths did she say there? CNN broke the news. Why did she talk about breaking the news? Come on, everything is breaking news right now, and much of what they call news isn't. And the fact that they bring on a Kellyanne Conway and treat her as someone that really represents the truth, or to actually still cover the White House briefings when the White House briefings are simply there to lie for the administration, that's a clear and present danger for the country. So the news media as the fourth estate should not be covering entities that are known liars. The news media simply shouldn't be doing that.
Print media tonight, because it's illegal to attack an endangered species. There's a ton of news right now. A lot is going on, and we have all these 24-hour news networks. And we could be covering everything. But instead, we're covering like 3 topics. Every hour, it's Trump, Russia, Hillary, and a panel of 4 people that remind you why you don't go home for Thanksgiving. You guys are obsessed with Trump. Did you used to date him? Because you pretend like you hate him, but I think you love him. I think what no one in this room wants to admit is that Trump has helped all of you. He couldn't sell steaks or vodka or water or college or ties or Eric, but he has helped you. He's helped you sell your papers and your books and your TV. You helped create this monster, and now you're profiting off of him.
Now, if that wasn't the perfect ending, she had a couple sentences after that, including one where she called out, Flint water is still polluted or something like that, okay? But think about that. That was the most vile attack, correct attack on the media that there ever was. One, they broke the news. In other words, the news is no good anymore. Secondly, with 24 hours worth of news services, why do they concentrate on 3 stories when they could have been educating Americans as far as what's happening behind the Trump scene? What is Trump doing with healthcare? What is Trump doing with the veteran benefits, veteran affairs? What is Trump doing to the environment? What is Trump doing in foreign policy? There is so much time available on the networks that they could have story after story after story educating Americans as to what is happening throughout the entire government. They have the time to do it. And she's saying, you're not doing it. And then she brought up the fact that, wait a minute, you guys created Trump. You gave him over $2 billion worth of airtime during his run. Of course, he stood a good likelihood, as incompetent as he is, to win the election. And that's what happened. And you know what? Don't play as if you somehow, oh my God, you're sorry about it. Because the one thing that Trump always says that is very true is that without him, they would not be making the kind of monies that they're making. Without him, CNN would not have recovered the amount of people that it has, just because she's right when she said they broke the news. People don't look at that news as reliable anymore. But you know what? The powers that be doesn't want that news to be reliable. They don't want you to continue to see that as news. They don't want you to know what's going on the internal within the government, because the internals within the government, as long as those screws are being driven by the oligarchy, the plutocracy, the corporatocracy, they're happy with that. They don't want you to know the intricacies of what's going on in there. And that's what we are here for. We are here to tell you that they're screwing with your health care. We are here to tell you that they're destroying the environment. And if you read our blogs, if you follow what we are talking about online, she spoke earlier about the print media. She said the print media, she won't hit them because they're an endangered species. She's so right about it. But most of the good news, or most of the news, the investigative news that have occurred right now, came from the investigative reporters, not on TV, but the ones in print media. So it's very important for us to see this. Now, it's very important for us to have these programs that are also going to enlighten what's out there. In other words, we are here. Those of us that are bloggers, those of us that have these types of programs are here to give those messages virality that they're not getting because they're not on network TV. They're not on cable TV. So absent what we're doing, America remains uninformed. So when you have thousands of small bloggers, thousands of videographers, thousands of us doing this type of work, that is what it's going to take. So you know what time it is. I got to go ahead. I'm not going to get to read the blog of the week because I need to get to you guys and see what you're talking about. Sorry for going long-winded on that. You know how I can get sometimes when when I'm starting to interpret things. Maybe, I was about to say maybe we need to go a little bit more time, but nah, can't do that. That'll affect the blogging. Anyhow, let's go ahead and start talking about what you guys have to say. So bear with me 1 second as I pulled you guys up. Let's go here. See, I'm pulling it up. All right, let's see which is the bottom, which is the top. All right, let me just start from the top. Renee Perpetua, she had to be, oops, that went away. Why did that go away? Let's see. I'm sorry about that, folks. For some reason, we never get this stuff quite right when we're getting it first until I start reading it and it's like, oh, okay, that's what happened. Okay. But anyhow, folks, so you understand what's the need for. Okay, Jessica Hopkins. Print media is not dead. Perhaps the last bastion of true journalism when allowed by timid editors. Oh, Jessica Hopkins, you're absolutely right. Michael Rudnin. We need a liberal media among the mainstream networks, and we don't have any. There was more oversight and more direction given to me on content at MSNBC than there ever has been here at RT. Ed Schultz. Yes. Ed Schultz. I love Ed Schultz, and Ed Schultz didn't pull any punches. It looked like we got a call, so let me bring that call in. I'm sorry. I can shut up for a minute. Okay, caller, come on in.
Hello, can you hear me all right, sir?
Yes, I can hear you, sir. Talk to me.
Who is this again?
This is Politics Done Right.
Okay, that's right. All right. Well, I'm here at Harvard University. I'm a professor,
Yes, sir.
and I just was really interested in the show this morning
Okay. Would you like to add to what we're talking about?
about, you guys were just talking about MSNBC, right?
Yes, we're talking about not only MSNBC, we're talking about Michelle Wolf, who went ahead and gave that what I consider a very good performance that knocked the right, knocked the left, and knocked the media.
Is that short-haired woman?
No. We're talking about what occurred at the White House, the White House Correspondents Dinner last night.
You're talking about that naggy voiced woman.
Right. Well, yeah, but she had a lot of good things to say in my humble opinion. That is. Okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, I wasn't too big of a fan of her.
That's fine.
I think she could have showed a little more skin, if I'm being quite honest.
What do you mean?
I mean, I'd like to see a little more skin at the presidential debates and stuff like that, or the.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else you want to add to the program, sir? Okay, I guess I lost you. Okay, going back to to Rene Perpetua. She had to be vetted, so some important journalists obviously support her message, which is a good sign. Yeah, but you notice there's a part of, I didn't put this part in, Rene. There's a part where she said, when she came up with her first pretty tough joke, and she said, you guys should have listened to the things that I talk about. Meaning, apparently, she was saying, you may not have thought I would have said this, but I did. All right, Michael Rudnin, the MSN covered Trump so much they gave him $5 billion. Yeah, I heard $2 billion, but I could be wrong. Milton Gibson, sarcasm is a perfect tool for exposing hypocrisy. So true. Michael Rudnin, CNN should get their breaking news privilege taken away. Exactly. Ray Holder, my cousin de Panama. What do you think about Don Blankenship? Oh, that is going to be fun to watch, you know. Winning that election in Virginia, if he does, I think that, I don't know exactly when that election is, but if he wins that election in Virginia, wow, I mean, it just tells you a whole lot about, the Republican Party, and it's never about morality, it's never about honesty, it's never about what's real, right or wrong, it's just about winning. And you know what? We saw that with Michael Moore, and we saw that in a lot of other places. Okay, Ray Holder as well. Love this segment. She basically called out CNN for their double standard. Absolutely so. Milton Gibson de Panama. Miss Alternative Facts. Yes, sir. Jessica Hopkins, I agree completely. Boy, type fast. Okay, let's see. One other thing here. Jessica Hopkins, the loss of the fairness doctrine has led to the decline of our media. That is so true. Jessica Hopkins said, Egberto, I agree with your commentary and egregiousness of current day GOP behavior, but in my opinion, the story here is how far the media has fallen. Can you imagine Muro or Cronkite worrying about punditry? They would find the current White House Correspondents Dinner culture to be repulsive and antithetical to real journalism. Yes, let me be frank, however, Jessica. Since I wasn't living in those times, I don't know, I don't know if roasting existed in those times, sort of to take a break or something like that for them, to bring some levity to an otherwise job that is supposed to be very serious. You see, I don't mind the levity. What I mind is the things that she said in her commentary about breaking the news, about giving all that time to Trump, about all those things that they've done wrong. Those are the things that get to me. Okay, The Intercept. Let me see what else I got to go because we're almost done with the show. Curious, are turnover rates in the White House that big a deal? Oh, yeah. Let's see. Jessica Hopkins, I agree. Michael Rudnin, Pence is just as cynical. Let's see if I get to somebody I hadn't gotten to before. Let's see. Ray says, warm. Hey, what's up, primo? Primo's cousin in Spanish. Let's see. And then we have Ana Navarro on Twitter. I wrote about that one on Twitter, on Michael. I wrote an article about that one last night or yesterday sometime. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, I'm not going to. Daniel Ledo, one of my favorite conservatives. Nice try, but it is the Secret Service banning the funds, not the NRA. Oh, sure. I understand what I read about it, Daniel, so people know that I wasn't trying to pull a cover over them or something. Rudden said 10,000 teachers went to Colorado Capitol. That is so wonderful. René Ferfatua, Seth Meyers is a privileged white male. Let's see. Mark Simmons, show the clips. I showed the clips. Was I speaking too much? Probably so. All right. Gibson, who can't understand sarcasm? Anyhow, look, folks, let me tell you, we're at the end of the show. In fact, we're about a minute over. But here's the deal. Thank you so kindly for listening to the show today. It's not the show we were going to do today, but it's a show that worked out today. Sometime this week, I should have a few politicians in the mix. Let's see. I want to remind you folks that this is a progressive show. I want to remind you that we have to, if we are to stay ahead, we need hundreds of supporters. We need hundreds of subscribers, and we are way behind the curve in putting that together. We have a whole lot of listeners. We have a whole lot of followers. We need a small percentage of those followers, a few hundreds of you, to become subscribers of Politics Done Right. With Politics Done Right, you're supporting Politics Done Right, the radio video show. You're supporting egbertowillies.com, the main website. You're supporting politicsdoneright.com, the liberalnetwork.com, singlepayer-healthcare-network.com, factualinformation.com, faileddemocrats.com. There's a whole lot that you're supporting with that just by subscribing to us. Please go to patreon.com, patreon.com/politicsdoneright. Again, that is patreon.com/politicsdoneright. patreon.com/politicsdoneright. We need your support. We need actually hundreds of you. Please go ahead and share this. Please encourage other people to join us. Encourage other people to support us. Encourage other people to subscribe. It is very, very, very important. Again, my name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right. Thank you so kindly for spending this time with me. I'll see you tomorrow, same place, same time. Remember, progressive media must survive. Progressive independent media must survive. It's the only way we're going to get all those messaging that Michelle Wolf talked about. There's 24 hours in a day, and you guys aren't doing your job. Well, those of us out here, there are many of us here trying to get the job done. Egberto Willies, Politics Done Right, and I am out.
Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is the progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. Remember, you can also send me a tweet to EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is Politics Done Right.
1, 2, 3, 4.